Because we stay there, that's what he said.
We are coming back from executive session as part of a work session. If everybody will stand for Pledge of Allegiance for our regular meeting. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We do have before us our agenda as presented. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections by fellow board members or department heads?
Yes, there is. Item 1 on new business will be deleted for this meeting. Under zoning, under zoning and nuisance abatements. I'm sorry.
Did you say new business number 1 or
Confused. First one,
yeah, what was the first one you were looking to have?
New business?
New business number one.
Yes.
cross that out.
Thank you.
And under zoning, the nuisance abatements, a letter I should be added under the H.
What's that, 74? Oh, okay, yeah.
She said, why added to 7350 or 7450?
I am going to add under just concerns of trustees and there's a follow-up to last meeting. OFA, the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, NIP.
What's it called, OFA?
Yeah. Are there any other items? If not, the agenda will stand as amended. That being said, our first item for business is the sheriff's report. I'm going to turn that over to Lieutenant Springer.
Pleased as the board, Lieutenant Ron Springer on behalf of Sheriff Meyer. In front of you, you should have the monthly report for August of 2016. Notice the calls for service had a substantial increase. We can go back in 2 more pages to the rear and look at the purple column for August. It's been a pretty big number there for the last 4 years, so that's a substantial increase. Crashes remain virtually unchanged, although we have to keep in the back of our mind that State Highway Patrol is still coming into the township, assisting us with crashes and taking over some of the crashes for us. Alarms were nominal in their change. Traffic stops and citations are both on the increase. Part of that is due to the officers out there patrolling the streets for you. Part of that's going to be due to the 2 checkpoints we handled during the month of August in Plain Township. Arrests are up slightly. For the detective's report, he was able to complete 11 follow-up investigations during the month of August, with 3 cases closed. We really have no trending information at this point in time. However, it is important to remind the residents they need to lock their vehicles and store their valuables out of sight. We expect October to be a very busy month for us. Our school bus activity, or the Project Safe School Bus, is going to be in operation again during the week of October 10th. We also expect here in the next little over 2 weeks from now to have 4 checkpoints, and that's probably going to be bordering Whipple Avenue in Plain Township, although they'll be outside of Plain Township jurisdiction. But that will definitely have an impact on the safe driving habits of those inside the township. I want to touch briefly also on the activity completed by Deputy Chad Smith as a school resource officer, which Plain Township paid half of his salary over the summer. So looking at his activity over these approximate 3 months that he was able to spend in the township with us, his reports taken were only about 19. We did that on purpose. He was not a car out there to be responding to the immediate demands of the township. He was out there with a special purpose. This was an introduction to our problem-oriented policing unit. So we wanted some community policing to come out of Chad Smith this summer. You'll see below that he had about 18 traffic stops. Those traffic stops weren't on general patrol. Those were targeted to specific areas that either the trustees had received speed complaints on or that residents had contacted this individual for speed complaints.
That's smart.
Vacation Bible schools and churches. He was able to reach out to over 35 locations. Now, some of those locations may have been visited more than once. So for example, for church inside the township, had a Vacation Bible School going on, if he was not available, we sent out a Plain Township deputy or a shift supervisor, one of our sergeants, to make contact with the kids, either as they were arriving or departing from the event. Once again, you get to see that school resource officer over the summer months. We thought that was very important. Business contacts, 85 contacts he had. Some of those businesses were multiple contacts, so he would have counted it twice. So primarily what he went to were the businesses with marquee signs inside the townships. He went out, introduced himself personally, left a business card, said, "This is what I do during my normal school time. If you have any problems, feel free to contact me or contact dispatch." We was able to give them a business watch sticker from the sheriff's office, which just says we report suspicious activity to the sheriff's office with our phone number. Those are going to be very key businesses to hit as we move forward with talking about the levy and gaining support for the policing services in Plain Township. In addition to this, from the time he started in school year 2015 through 2016, till the end of the summer, he was able to save Plain Township schools, Plain local schools, a very significant amount of money. Now, while I don't have a direct nexus between this, I can tell you that Plain Local did away with their pay-to-play fees this year. Probably as a direct result of the money savings Chad Smith was able to produce by doing residency verifications. So, if a parent says they reside in Plain Township, or perhaps say their children still reside in Plain Township, Plain Local schools had to fund that education. So I live in Plain Township, but I'm really sending Johnny over to Akron. Well, when Deputy Smith was able to verify that these kids aren't going to Akron, and they or their parents don't live in Plain Township, Plain Local Schools is no longer responsible for funding that education. The jurisdiction where they live is. Very substantial amount of money was saved with that.
Lieutenant Springer, can you find out from Sheriff Meyer or the schools for the next meeting about how much money that was?
I can ask that. We'll see if we can come up with the dollar amount. And I think they're still working on that briefly. Part of that's going to be a projected cost savings. So for example, if that student is in kindergarten, that's a savings from kindergarten through senior in high school. The last page of your monthly report I wanted to bring up was the fact that Plain Township was able to host a training for all of the Stark County schools that had DARE officers or school resource officers. I want to thank Mrs. Campbell and of course the township for all the services they provide to open up this meeting room for us to host that training. 30 people were in attendance. Every school district in Stark County that has an SRO or a DARE officer participated. They may not have sent all their officers, but they had representation here. We even had a police chief here. We had 6 administrators from 5 school districts that came because they were impressed with the caliber of training we were going to be giving, the topics that were covered, and they wanted to be involved. Plain Township is going to become a springboard for future activities and some further DARE SRO training. So, having recapped, we had 30 people in attendance. It was specifically dealing with introduction to crisis management for school-based incidents, threat assessment, and prevention. Most of the course was presented by myself. However, Allison Esber from Start Mark Mental Health Addiction and Recovery was able to be present, was able to explain some of the programs to the schools that she's able to offer. Andre Elliott from Sandy Hook Promise was able to come here and give those SROs and those police officers in the audience an idea of what it would look like for them to present a see something, say something. They actually call it Say Something program, but how they would present that to the students, so it was an example. We then had the communications director from Green Local Schools, Julie McMahon, arrive as well, and she was able to provide the school districts with a back brief of how their activities went last year. We've received some very good feedback on this, and I just want to thank you for the township for allowing the sheriff's office to host that here at your facility. Do you have any questions for me?
No questions, just a comment. I think I can speak for the board when I say, we appreciate this proactive approach you're taking. Some of this stuff is creative, cutting edge, and we're just excited to be a part of it. Hopefully our citizens recognize that we have that kind of initiative out there, so what money they are paying is being used both wisely and actively. So I think we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Something I had noted this meeting on Endro.
Yeah, we knew it would be only time before we received the calls about Endro. So if I already spoke to Lieutenant Springer, if we could get extra patrols on Endro. We're receiving numerous calls from the residents on Endro regarding other issues. We're already addressing those. Speaking of Lieutenant Springer, kind of underscored his role in putting together the whole program for those SRO officers and school officers. He put together this whole program with those 30 people in attendance, including myself, and he taught almost the entire course. And it was one of the best courses I've ever been to. It was incredible, so thank you.
The speeding on Endro, this is going to be ongoing. Is there any way, I mean, keep that deputy there for a while, just hammer as many as we can keep hammering to let people know, hey, that we mean business here, and so that the next 4 days that they show maybe that deputy's not there, I mean, this is going to be ongoing.
No,
This is part of the
because this
safety
is why
issue.
we need the levy. We don't have the deputies to sit there because they go when they're not on calls.
Well, what I'm saying, I understand, what I'm saying is though that deputy should be there until he goes on a call, then obviously he has to go on that call, but in other words, he goes on a call, please don't go on Middle Branch and sit, come back to Endro and sit. That's all I'm asking.
But what about the chronic complaints we've had over the years about Firestone or somewhere
Yeah.
on bottling? I mean, this is the habitual issue, and this is exactly why we petitioned,
Yeah.
and all the department heads
Yeah.
provided the information to the county commissioners to make a determination on vacating it. And now by unvacating it or whatever, we're back to the same
So like,
old
and
issues.
using our deputies now, we have to go there because they reopened it up.
But this is our 8th request just internally for extra patrols. Endro is one
We
of
can
them.
only do, I guess we can do, we're gonna keep getting that call.
Absolutely.
My,
We will continue to do our best to try and get our officers that we had and work within the budget constraints that the township has out there patrolling and taking care of the issue. Of course, we always work with Mr. Icino. He's great about getting the speed buggy out for us, and I think Endro is probably 3 or 4 down on his list now, give or take. We have a few more places ahead of there. We will also try and use our grant monies that we receive through NHTSA, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, to try and get some extra officers out there as well.
well, we appreciate the continued
Sorry about
effective use of
that.
what resources we do have. We realize, wishing for the world knowing we got this much to work with, so.
We take a little pride in that we've probably given you more with less longer than anybody, and regardless of the situation, that's what we're going to continue
Well,
to
this is
do.
one of those exact situations for a pop unit.
Yeah.
Go
Yes, sir.
over and nail that consistently if we get the additional absolute resources. Thank you, Lieutenant Springer. Nothing else, Lisa?
No, not under the sheriff's report.
That's going to take us to new business, and we'll go right to item 2, because item 1 was removed.
I have a resolution by the Plain Township Board of Trustees that upon an employee's retirement, they shall be entitled to the prorated amount of their longevity at the time of their retirement.
I will so move.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes. That will take us to the fiscal officer's report, Mr. Wolf.
Thank you. The first item on the agenda is a request for resolution to authorize the payment of pending warrants in amount of $170,378.23.
I will so move.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Fiscal officer number 2 is a request for resolution to authorize the payment of regular payroll.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Fiscal officer number 3 is a request for resolution from the board to authorize the payment for the following medical claims.
I was move authority to pay.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Fiscal officer number 4 is the financial report for August.
Anybody has questions afterwards, see Tom.
Did you get a call yet from the new bank that's going to be taken over?
Actually, I have a meeting tomorrow morning with the first
Did you know
merit.
that this branch here is gonna become one of those?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. So yeah, we'll get some more details tomorrow morning.
I know that they've been out now, starting to contact, just wondering if they contacted us.
Sure. Yeah, they reached out, set up a meeting, so. And fiscal officer number 5 is a request for resolution to authorize the following transfers.
I will so move.
Second?
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
And that concludes the fiscal officer's report.
Thank you, Mr. Wolf. That's going to take us to the administrator, Mrs. Campbell.
Yes, item number 1 is a resolution to approve and authorize payment to Worcester Brothers Landscaping for the August 2016 composting in the amount of $2,250 from Fund 01A 26L.
So moved. Second. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Item number 2 is a resolution by the Plain Township Board of Trustees, Stark County, Ohio, to adopt the attached, updated, and revised Plain Township Employee Handbook.
I will enthusiastically move on this one.
Second.
Discussion, just comments. This has been every bit of 12 to 18, 12 plus, close to 18 months work in progress. This is definitely a good guiding tool for any business or organization. So this is what I'd like to thank you for all the time and effort between having to strike the balance with the department heads and getting any updates to working within the board's confines of meeting with Mr. Williams or from his organization. This is finally ready to go. So yeah, definitely pass on all my appreciation for patience on this because
Absolutely.
if there are no further comments, can we do a roll call?
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
And that's the end of the well, let me just quickly mention that this Thursday, Plain Township is hosting the Stark County Township Association meeting. 6:30 is dinner in the meeting at Central Station, Fire Station number 1 on Schneider.
And our program is the SAM Center, retired Staff Sergeant Brian Bowman from Congressman Jim Renace's office, and as well Keith Venezi from that Aaron Ryan Corporation. There's supposedly a little bit of misunderstanding is potential additional program, but I'm dealing with Dick Piro, our County Township Association president, and the vice president, to reschedule what was supposedly happening.
Yeah, very good. And I think the majority of our department heads will be in attendance there.
Great. Appreciate that. No, it's after hours.
There's food, so.
From a good place.
Yeah, it's from a good Plain Township business. And thanks to Eric for sponsoring.
Okay, that'll take us to fire department. I'm going to turn this over to Chief Schauberger.
Yes, first item on the agenda is our monthly report. Call volume's about the same. No real big jumps.
You guys are integrating well with their training and so forth.
Yes, we've been keeping them very busy this month, so we're
There's no idle time for
They can drink from the fire hoses. Any questions? Okay. Next.
Number 2 is the resolution to promote from their day shift position to their shift work, Kyle Albert, Patrick Martinez, Daniel Ventura, Joseph Teal, Cameron Martin, and Aaron Kopp. That was effective September 25th. That way it hits with the payroll there.
I will move on to fire number 2, with it being noted that Benjamin Leisure is to be stricken from that.
That is correct.
Resolution, as he had previously noted he was going to go back to a prior place of employment.
I'll second based on that.
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Number 3 is a motion to authorize purchase of and payment of gasoline, oil, and diesel fuel, not to exceed $20,000, taken from 28A06C.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Number 4 is the purchase of protective fire gear from Fire Force Incorporated, not to exceed $15,000, taken from Fund 10A09G. And this would be for fire gear for the new hirees. So,
I will so move.
Second.
Discussion, just as a point of clarification, ultimately, we'll work these guys towards a second set of turnout.
correct, yeah, they, we have them now kind of in, I guess you'd say, backup roles now, you know, stuff that's maybe not good fitting, but it works, and this will be more tailored to them. And then eventually that'll be their backup set, the other stuff.
Got it. Okay. No further discussion, roll call, please.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Number 5 is a resolution to authorize the purchase and payment of international chassis extended service contract for 2017 ambulance from P Fund Superior Sales, not to exceed $3,600, taken from 28A09. And along with that, this is for the new ambulance we've ordered, and the warranty for that wasn't included because of, this will be the first DEF ambulance that we have, so they were changing some of the verbiage to cover those components of the warranty when we ordered it, so. It's similar to all the other contracts that we have on the other ambulances.
I will salute the fire department 5.
Second. Second, Mr. Sabo, discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Last on our agenda is for motion to offer employment. He has successfully completed all the township skills assessment, medical, physical testing, performed job functions. Alexander Hilton to be hired as of September 14th as a Class 2 career firefighter. So he'd be entering this training program like the first 6 that we had.
I will so move.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
That closes the fire business.
Thank you, Chief. It's going to take us to the road department. Mr. Iacino.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, item number 1 is the monthly report for August.
Next. Anybody have any questions?
Item number 2 is a resolution to authorize the purchase and installation of new galvanized steel front door complete with safety glass window from Faircrest Door.
I will so move on road number 2.
Second.
Discussion, this is a result of the ALS training, correct?
Correct. It's going to be tied into the new camera system and everything.
Okay. No further discussion, roll call, please.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Item number 3 is to amend resolution number 16-355 passed on July 12, 2016 for the Plain Township Pavement Parking Program, contracted to Oglesby Construction. The additional amount to be added to current contract will be $712.69. The total amount of contract being $31,103.70.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Iacino.
Yeah, yes. I guess, Joe, because Lisa just brought it up, did you have a chance to talk with the other two on that little visit that we did on the service.
Yes, I'm still trying to talk to contractors to come in and just do a test.
Yeah, because they've said for something that's.
It's not budget right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we'll keep working on it.
Anything else, Mr. Lee?
No, thank you. Thank you very much.
It's going to take the zoning department, Mr. Farrar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 1 is a monthly report for August.
Any questions on the monthly report? Okay, next.
Item number 2 is a resolution for nuisance payments for items A and B.
I will so move.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Item number 3 is a resolution for nuisance abatements for items A through I.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, I'm sure this is probably just picked up a little bit purely out of the rain, humidity, the heat, the whole 9 yards.
Yes, several of these are the problem children that are reoccurring.
You know, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
You know, those reoccurring, you know, like that Starfire, I know you guys will keep it up. It just bothers me, it seems like we're their keepers, and we're over there taking care of that and cutting it. And what are we getting out of it? Who's getting what out of it? Will we ever collect out of it? It's like,
Starfire does pay.
are they? Starfire?
They're paying their
They treat us
taxes.
like their yard, like their maintenance
And
company.
it-
Most likely.
I mean, we are expensive.
And I do know,
So they are paying it?
Yes, sir.
Well, then, I mean, but isn't it,
I do know on that one, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do within our legal power. I do know, I talked with a frustrated homeowner up off the north that you, Mr. Wolf, and redirected me, and literally, the complaint on the Starfire, is anything ever gonna get done? He thought this board hadn't been doing anything, but then when I explained our nuisance abatement process, just for the sake of, we don't have the financial resources to go in and brownfield mitigate that, and that's where the board continues to partner with regional planning and county commissioners to try to get the financial resources so we can level it, turn it to green space, and get it conveyed into something else. But I mean, I think this is one of those Achilles heel where, whether it's this board or 3 new people that would ever be here years in the future, it just, it sucks because
Yeah.
we can't, we like to resolve and mitigate issues, and unfortunately, we can't.
how much are they paying us? They're actually paying, why would they not just have their own private person cut that? I mean, isn't that in the $600 range?
We talk to the owner every time, and he promises, oh yes, I'll cut it. Give me a week, give me 2 weeks, and he never does get it done.
So he could probably spend $100 getting a cut
Well, it
versus
wouldn't even
$600.
be $100.
And here we are
I think
doing
it's gonna be a couple $100 for the
The whole
whole
season.
season.
I mean, okay, if he wants to keep giving us the money, well,
The only bad part for us is delayed
Right.
use of those
absolutely.
financial resources.
Using our equipment.
The equipment is, it's hard on the equipment, especially with, as high as that grass grows.
Any further
Wow.
discussion?
Thanks.
Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Item number 4 is a resolution to renew the attached service agreement with iWork Systems in the amount not to exceed $5,180 and authorize payment to be paid from Fund 13A04.
I will so move.
Second.
Discussion, just as a point of clarification for anybody in the public or who may watch our meeting online afterwards, this was a system that you were tasked with getting implemented pretty much right as you were hired on. This essentially streamlined, 3 or 4 bare minimum manual processes where now we have a single consolidated repository that can give us a historical view, in a matter of a couple of clicks, and then we actually as a board can have the application
Access to.
our phones. So,
Yes.
I mean, for cost convenience reporting, this is definitely streamlined efficiency.
It helped us immensely.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
That'll take us, thank you, Mr. Farrar. That'll take us to the Parks Department, Mr. Steinberg.
Thank you. Item number 1 is my monthly report.
Any questions? Okay.
Item number 2 is simply a resolution to include the community room in that language with the updated fee structure we passed last board meeting. We just felt it was a little cleaner to include the community room because some folks do differentiate between community room versus shelter, so we just wanted the language to be updated.
I will so move.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 3 is a resolution by the Plain Township Board of Trustees to enter into an attached service agreement with Active Network LLC to approve and authorize payment in the amount of $27,000 from Fund 01F08F to authorize Lisa Campbell, Administrator, to sign this agreement for the Board of Trustees for Active Network software.
I will so move.
Second.
Just discussion, I think to reinforce, we did have a work session on this previously with a bunch of supporting documentation, similar to Project iWorks for zoning.
Correct.
This will automate and streamline quite a bit within the parks programming, as well as help do the online registration.
It covers a myriad of areas within the parks and even here in the admin building. And I'm thankful to Mr. Wolf and to Mrs. Campbell for helping not only research but work through the kinks and some of the questions and the conference calls and et cetera. So we're excited about it.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes. That will take us to the law director, Mr. Williams.
Thank you. One item on the agenda, it is an objection to the recently filed Hall of Fame Village number 1, I believe it's called, annexation. I did have a conversation with Sam Slyman today. We don't have anything really worked out with regard to the road maintenance issue. They're not opposed to working something out. Obviously, they're going to have Mr. Meglin call Joe to get those discussions started, but I told him as a matter of just formality, we'd be passing this tonight without an agreement on the table, because as it sits now, it just, kind of the borders are on the edge of that property. They don't take in the road, and we don't have an agreement for anybody where they're going to take the road to, who's going to service what, or anything like that. So it's more a matter of formality than anything else. That's why we have that on the agenda.
I'll move on, law director number 1.
I'll second it.
Discussion, I know Eric, you and I had discussed, and I believe this board, whether, I know myself specifically or any combination, after having the work session in December, we understand there's an initial footprint, which the hall's going to be annexed into the city. And I know in a conversation/meeting I had had with Mr. Slyman, he was asked if we would be contesting all of these, to which we said, hey, within this footprint, we know it's going to happen. Step 1 parcel, outside of that, we will dispute it. The technicality on this one is, hey, we're taking all the parcels along the roadway, but yet we're going to leave it on Plain Township for the roadways, which, by the way, may be having heavy traffic going up and down, thus degrading them. So who's going to get the calls? Not the city of Canton, Plain Township is. I did leave a message for the folks at the Hall of Fame so they weren't caught off guard by this, because, again, practicing good, sound, open communication. Let them know that there's some technicality that the city of Canton's got to resolve in order for us to not contest this.
Yeah, I think it was, I'm sorry, go ahead, Al.
Well, I was gonna ask you, in all the scuffle that we have, the city of Canton annexation, has there ever been one where they didn't take the road? And most, every one of those, it's always been included.
Either that or there's some kind of an agreement we reach that, hey, look, it goes to the center of the line, but you're going to take that whole road for this section, and then we'll be over here with this section.
And why do you think this one was slipped?
I just think that they just filed probably what was discussed, and they said, I really don't think it's, oh, we'll slip one by them. In my conversations with them, I don't think anybody's gonna be opposed to working out something with those roads, because I think everyone realizes, the Hall of Fame, the city of Canton, and ourselves.
And again, you say working out, they're theirs. I mean, I
Right.
hope, when you say working out, what we're gonna, I mean, I hope that if we tell them, you want it, you get it, you take it.
Well, if you look at number 6 here, it talks about if a street or highway will be divided or segmented between the township and the municipal corporation as to create a road maintenance problem, it's incumbent upon the municipal corporation to agree as a condition of the annexation to assume the maintenance of that street or highway or to otherwise correct the problem. So that is a condition, whether we object, don't object, or whatever, that's a condition of them annexing these properties under this type of procedure. So that's why I said this is more a formality than anything else, because we want to just make it aware that this is an issue and it is outstanding.
Okay,
Any further discussion?
thank you.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
One other thing I need to note, Tom, for your record over there, there's a place to fill in the acreage. It is 2.797.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, that will take us to communications. Mrs. Campbell.
Thank you. We have one communication, and it's from Deanna Jamie Dykus, and it's to specifically the road department and Mr. Iacino, which reads, "We just wanted to say thank you so much for all of the drainage work Plain Township did at and around our property. It works amazingly. You have no idea how much of a relief it has been not to worry about the house flooding at all and not having to rush home to see what we need to deal with. We were able to put carpet down on the lower floor, and it now feels like a home. We really appreciate the research and work it took to accomplish this goal, and it has not gone unnoticed. Thank you, Plain Township."
Thanks for your team's work, Joe. Okay, that'll conclude communications. This does bring us to the portion of the meeting, public speaks. If there's anybody in the audience that wishes to address the Board of Trustees, we just ask that you state your name and your address for the fiscal officer for the record.
Thank you. I'm Lavinia Konopka, and I can spell that for you if
Sure,
you'd like me
thank
to.
you.
Ladinia Konopka. And I live at 7347 Saratoga Hills Drive in the East. Share a neighborhood with...
Absolutely, right around the
So I
corner.
know, it's just right around the corner. I'm a master gardener. I do landscape design for the Garden Club of Ohio. I was responsible for the Blue Star Memorial that was installed in Louisville. I was president of the Garden Club over there. I am very, very interested in preserving our trees, the canopy, and the gardens in particular in the parks that we have. There's a lot of benefit to what I'm going to suggest that you consider. It's a Tree Commission Academy. It's run by the ODNR Forestry Division, and I'm not sure if you're aware of it or not, but they provide a school. It's in Alliance. You have to be a member of a tree board or a member of a park or a zoning commission in order to go to these classes. They're relatively inexpensive. And they help you with all sorts of things. When you're in the process of planning for new subdivisions, it helps you put some onus on the developer to put trees, the proper trees, in the right place on the property. As some of you may know, in our subdivision, we have a problem with the older part of the division, which I live in. They put trees in the devil strip, which you should never, ever do. It is a hazard. It is a hazard because these trees grow up, they block the roadway, they cause your sidewalks to heat, so it's not the proper thing to do. And I'm going to leave with you tonight the literature for you to take a look at, and the contacts for you to call. If you want additional information, I'm very happy to do that for you. I do know that Louisville County Council has a tree board. They're all volunteers. And a very good friend of mine is heading up that, and she would be delighted to come and talk to, informally to the 3 commissioners here to talk about the value of having somebody attend this commission. But I think it would help our township immensely. Trees are a great resource to prevent runoff, which is a big problem for us. So I would beg your indulgence to read material that I've brought tonight, and you know where to find me if you need to hear some additional information. So that's all I need to say. I do want to commend the township. You guys do a terrific job. The parks are absolutely beautiful. My granddaughter, who's 17, does a lot of refereeing for the soccer games over at Diamond, so I get a lot of sense of appreciation for all the hard work that goes on in this township, and I appreciate it.
Coming from
Thank you.
that
Thank you.
Margaret, you
Yeah.
like that.
Well, and actually, our road department, just for the sake of this conversation, actually, they pushed to not have those trees correct over there.
Yeah.
And I know, just with my wife working at Davie, part of the issue over there, some of those ash trees is the emerald
Yeah,
ash,
the
or
emerald ash.
part of it, and we've already removed some of it.
And part of it is us, we don't take care of it.
And there's one.
I have a copy
so-
for each one of you.
Okay.
So if you have any questions, you know where to reach me.
This is for the Tree Commission
Thank you.
Academy class?
Yes,
Okay.
and it's held in Alliance, and it isn't a block of time. They do a class about every second or third week.
It'd be for the freshman class, like you start as a freshman.
You start as a freshman and go clear through.
Okay.
But there's a lot of information in these classes that would fall into the area of zoning that would help you with development of any residential, commercial, and everything.
Thanks.
You're welcome, thank you.
Interesting. And if the board's interested, you can go on the Ohio Department of Natural Resources and find the information and actually go to the Tree Commission Academy and read about it. So even members of, a board of trustees can attend the Tree Academy, or a department head, administrator. But the information's all on the, I think that's what you printed off for you, yeah, so it's all there.
Thanks again for taking the time and effort. Is there anybody else in the audience who wishes to address the board?
Joe.
Is this a future elected official we have sitting in the second row next to the camera there? Maybe our fiscal officer succession plan here, I think. Yeah, he's on his head.
Yeah, Tommy's checking to see what's been spent. That's right.
That'll conclude public speaks. Under concerns of trustees, I wanted to put this back on because, or bring up Ohio House Finance Agency, which is called a Neighborhood Initiative Program. We had a resident that was in the audience last meeting that had indicated, hey, the township should be taking advantage of this when we were looking at that one property where the foundation was sunk in. I've read through all this, I'm not going to torture all of you. I think I've probably even forwarded it. I know zoning, admin, everybody's looked at it. In short, Plain Township, based upon the geographical maps and so forth, is not currently eligible for these funds. Essentially, the monies that are sitting down with the county land bank board, which are close to about $0.7 million, are pretty well committed to the cities of Massillon, Alliance, and Canton, just because of the geographic, pre-identified areas that were part of the application process on the front end. Furthermore, even if we were potentially incorporated into any of this, this is all reimbursement. Well, given what we know we've dealt with and getting the fire levy renewed, getting road, and now working with police, because of impacts to the general fund, the reality is to say we're going to commit $100,000 or $250,000, some random number, it's not realistic. Furthermore, we potentially would have to sit and hold that property for up to 3 years and be responsible for the maintenance on it, which there's a maintenance appropriation of $1,200, but if we fall out of the slightest bit of compliance, then we start getting fined that money that's been appropriated. So for the sake of board awareness, public awareness, when it was raised, hey, there's funds out there to be demolishing properties, it is not applicable to Plain Township at this point in time. And I just simply wanted the record to reflect that. So, otherwise, I mean, just keep the document if you need a sleeper document, and you're good. So that was open. The only thing I wanted to ask, and I know I didn't put it on, we got a little bit of, can the department heads give a little bit of an update, initial thoughts on the whole GPS and piloting? I mean, have we taken much of a look at it? What are some initial thoughts? Joe?
Yeah, I've taken some time on it. We trained last Thursday, was that right? Yeah, and I haven't had a lot of time to get on it, but it does give us the ability to see what we need to see, as far as I'm concerned.
It's incredible.
Whether that grows, to more equipment, it's entirely up to the board, but it will show us what we need from what I've been able to follow so far.
Yeah, I really like the idea of being able to kind of ping where our vehicles have been in the last 24 hours, because we all have gotten calls on months that are saying, well, your vehicle's here doing this, and we all know that in some cases that's far from the truth. It allows us to identify where the vehicle is, how it enters the zone, how it leaves the zone, the average miles to speed, the acceleration increase, the number of instances with which you accelerated. I mean, it shows you down to just the minutia of what your vehicle's doing, how it's doing it, how it's being utilized, when it can be serviced. I mean, there's just a litany of things that you can do with the programming. We got to play with it for the better part of 2 hours last week, and it was really, really nice to see.
Yeah, I think everybody was very, very pleasantly surprised after going through the training. None of us are going to sit and spend our time on the program. But if the need arises, we can go back through and look up any information. Now, we are going to get alerts if a vehicle is we set alerts for so many miles, 10 miles over the speed limit for over 2 minutes. And we are going to get some bi-weekly reports that we're going to look at, is how we set it up. Again, it'll be complaint driven, but also, during snow plowing, if Joe wants to go on, because that's an important time, and somebody said my road hasn't been done, he can go back and look and see that exact route those trucks have taken, and could say, actually it was done at 1 a.m., it's now 5 a.m., the snow's been falling 2 inches an hour, and we'll get back there approximately at this time. I think, I don't want to speak for all the department heads, but I think everybody feels very comfortable seeing it and sees it now as a very good tool. And we've only gotten it, in a couple vehicles, and I think if the board had wished, everybody would be comfortable putting it in their fleet, knowing that, they can turn off and on given the season, because you're not going to want it in vehicles that are only used in the winter, and you can turn those off, and then again turn them on in the vehicles that are used seasonally, because I think we really did, through that training, get to see the value.
Even logistically, to be able to see if you get an issue that arises somewhere, where your closest vehicle in the fleet is, to reroute somebody in the most efficient way is great, because you can pick it up and it pings every 30
vehicles who
seconds.
shouldn't be idling, fire vehicles idle, we get that. But if there's other vehicles which shouldn't be idling and are wasting gas, we're gonna get alerts about that. Like, right, why are the cars sitting there, they've been, in a work area, why are you leaving your vehicle on? It should be off.
Diesel vehicles should idle.
Yes.
We shouldn't be shutting them off.
Right, but the other vehicles.
I don't know if we'll ever get the fire department to quit speeding, because we'll be getting a lot of
Yeah.
same on that stream, boy, I tell you.
Yeah.
I've got a couple alerts on that.
Yeah, so I think everybody would be comfortable and would, that's the board's desire to.
I still think obviously a long period of the pilot, like we've discussed, I just simply wanted to.
Yeah, it's been a couple months, and we can, run some other tests on it.
Look at those couple months.
Yeah, we can go back and
Just
look
now
at those
learned how
couple
to do that
months.
last week.
Yeah. So we think it's a very positive thing for the townships, and for the.
For me personally, I want you to keep a list so I can see the positive, because I wasn't really 100% for this in the beginning. and I'm trying to watch how we're gonna be spending our money, having another monthly payment, but if you guys can show me the positive, and you're all liking what you see, then it's something I need to do, so that I can tell our constituents, that's why we have this monthly bill. So for me, please keep it as accurate record as you can, so that I can see what they're doing. So I can justifiably say it's worth spending a monthly fee on these.
By either of you, any concerns, trustees? Concerns with the fiscal officer?
No concerns.
Okay, that'll take us to the approval of minutes, and I will move on the regular meeting for August 23rd, 2016.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes. And next is the special meeting for September 8th, 2016, for which I will so move.
I will second that.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes. There is a need for executive session, so be it hereby resolved by the Plain Township Board of Trustees, Stark County, Ohio, to adjourn the executive session at 6:54 PM from this regular meeting is authorized under Ohio Revised Code 121.22G for the purpose and consideration of 1B, employment of a public employee or official, 1F, compensation of a public employee or official, 4, preparing for, conducting, or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.